I am talking about Patience Season 2. I've already done like a full on comparison between Patience first season and the original work Astrid et Raphaelle, or known in English as Astrid Murder in Paris. So you can go and watch that for like a full on analysis between the two shows. Both of them were much more fresh in my mind. I feel like I started the recent season of Astrid Murder in Paris, but never finished it. I need to check on that. So yeah, it's been a while since I've seen the original Astrid Murder in Paris season 2 to make any super direct comparisons. I do recognize a lot of the plots in season 2 of Patience. My jaw hurts. Yeah, I feel like I didn't really watch season 4 by looks of it all, so I may have to sit and spend some time watching that just because I love Raphaelle. Okay? Love Raphaelle. I want to know if her and the hot man ever actually get together. Me and my need for long-winded, slow burn, pining love stories again. But yeah, so my thoughts for season 2, still reusing at least like some of the base information of the French plots. Like I said, I can't really remember in detail season 2 of Astrid Murder in Paris. I think that might be because I've not been on ADHD meds for nearly a year. So I think the last time I did my original video, I was still on ADHD meds, and I could remember so much of that show vividly, even though I'd only seen it once and a while ago. So I don't know. I think maybe my ADHD meds make it really hard for me to, like, being off them makes it hard for me to remember if I've seen something or not. But yeah, the basic plot premises were the same as the French show. They did replace a character, which obviously doesn't happen in the French one. They replaced Detective B with somebody else called, what was her name? Detective Frankie Monroe. Honestly, thank God. I don't know if it was the actress or the way she played that character or the way that character was written, or maybe a combination. I just didn't fucking like Detective B. I didn't like B. Didn't like her vibe. Was not a fan. So I was pleased to see her gone, even though Detective Monroe, initially is not the nicest person, especially to patients. But I do enjoy her. Also, apparently, the actress, Jessica Hines, was brought up in Brighton in Sussex. Hey, girl. How you doing? Anyway. But yeah, I enjoy her performance a lot more. The one thing I found fucking hysterical, though, is that she has so much hair, and she's just always at work with this, like, her hair down and always looking so glam, and it just didn't fit. I feel it just, something felt weird about that. So I think, I don't know, maybe considering putting her hair up would be a good idea, because I just could not stop looking at her hair. I was just like, this feels weird. This doesn't feel in character. But yeah, again, it's not the same dynamic as in the French show either. Raphaelle is very sweet and kind and patient, whereas, yeah, a lot of the people in the British one are just not. I found B was quite invasive, and like defied a lot of boundaries, which I didn't enjoy. And then Detective Monroe was just generally quite unkind, a little bit harsh and blunt, ironically. But yeah, I do like how her character changed and grew with the plot, and learning a bit more about her backstory, which I think as well was different to the French one. Obviously, like, because Raphaelle didn't have a reason to like have transferred here from somewhere else, but like, there's definitely some of that was still from the French version. I feel like I remember something similar happening, but I don't know. I know that there was a point where Astrid was just straight up kidnapped, but this was not the same as that. They did also address B not being there anymore, but it is a little bit of a shame that her Someone with ADHD's like story arc is kind of left a bit unfinished. Yeah, we still have like an older woman and a young like 23-year-old, so there's not that same like friendship dynamic that we had in the French one. But I do think I prefer this dynamic a little bit more. It feels a bit more appropriate. I felt like I said, B's character kind of defied a lot of boundaries, both like Patience's boundaries, but also like a mixture of professionalism boundaries, as well as just boundaries of like being aware of the age difference and being aware of like, you know, putting too much on somebody much younger than you. So this does feel a lot more appropriate and a bit more actually thoughtful towards Patience, as she is literally 23. The whole first episode I was like, has she like got a different haircut? And I hate it, but it's the way she tucks her hair behind her ears. It makes it look like she had like a mullet, and I was like, I fucking hate this little mullet. But generally this season, whoever was styling her hair needs to be fired. Looked awful this season. Like yeah, looked a mess. Don't know why it just looks like that all the time. I also feel like her wardrobe got really boring and a bit like messy. I preferred the wardrobe of the first season. There were some similarities in like shape and cut of some of the pieces she wore. But yeah, I don't know. I was not vibing with it. So I want the hair and costume team fired. Oh yeah. Episode one of my old acting teachers was actually in it. One of my old acting teachers from my stagecoach with RADA part-time course I did, Tanya Moody. She was the wife in episode one, wife and mum in episode one. She looks a little bit different. I don't know what it is, but I was looking at her thinking, you look familiar, but like it didn't click. So there was something about how she looks that was a little bit different. When they had her in the interview room and she was talking, I was like, I know that woman. I know her. And I looked it up and it is her. So that was funny. She was also in Skins. It's just funny when I see her because I kind of know her as more of a stage actress, but she does obviously do bits here and there. So it's funny and cool to see her still working, basically. I feel that way about most actors. Like, if I haven't seen one for a while and then they've come back, I'm like, well, good for you, bitch. Good for you. Getting paid. Well done. Back to Patience, though. I was getting a bit confused about what was like the story with her mum. Sometimes she says her mum's dead, sometimes her mum's not dead. End of the show was a massive spoiler, like, oh, I'm your sister. That wasn't in the French show. So yeah, that was a bit hard to follow at times. I also feel like when her boyfriend took her to the silent disco and you see her dancing, it was very reminiscent of the scene, I think it was near the end of Skins season 1. Yeah, I think it must have been season 2, where Effie and Pandora and some other kid have all gone to the club for something, and Pandora's dancing in the middle of the dance floor, kind of crazy, and everyone's like looking at her. Like, it was kind of reminiscent of that scene. I don't know if that was done on purpose, particularly as I feel like Pandora was like quite obviously autistic, but never called autistic. But yeah, it just reminded me of that scene. I doubt I'll find a good screenshot of it. I also feel like they're actually finally setting up like a will they won't they, similar to Raphaelle has with Hotman. What the fuck? I'm gonna have to look this up. Nicholas Perrin, I think. Nico? Yes, Nico. So yeah, Raphaelle and Nico have like this ongoing will they won't they get it together, and then they do have a kiss at one point, but like that wasn't really happening in the English one, or if it was going to, they didn't really have the time to set it up, whoever the actress for B left. But I do feel like they're like setting it up between Di Monroe and I don't know what his name is because there's no photo here. I think DS Jake Hunter. Yeah, there's no photo here, which is sad. Seeing as he's in like all the promo, surely there should be a fucking photo of him, you know? That I noticed. Very small moments. So that was exciting. That alone might make me keep watching because like I literally just said, I fucking love a long, drawn out, will they, won't they, pining, yearning, slow burn. yeah, take 15 seasons to actually get together. Thank you. So yeah, I'm definitely very interested in what they do with that because they're very different people as well than the French version. Although DS Hunter is very sweet to patients, but he's a bit of a wimp. We do have a bit more disability representation as well. There's a girl who, I don't know why, who the fuck, why? I don't think this is in the French one either. It's some girl doing, I don't know if it's PR. She's doing like social media for the police. And she keeps like leaking things from fucking active investigations. Girl should have been fired. The fuck? But anyway, yeah. So the actress has a limb difference. Oh yeah, Zinzi. Oh, she's my age. Slay. Is there any more information about her at all? Oh yeah, so she was born with a foreshortened left arm. Okay. So yeah, so she has a limb difference. So there is actually some more like visible disability representation in this season. I saw her in a show with Rosie something, the comedian with cerebral palsy. I did not find that show funny, so unfortunately I did not carry it on. It was something like Benefit Scroungers or something. So I thought it was going to be funny, and I'm sure it was making a good point, but I didn't find it funny, so I stopped watching it. But she was in that. I remember seeing her in that. There's also like, my gran mentioned this because my gran watches too. I always suspected a possibility of something between Astrid and William in the French version, but it didn't turn out that way. Him and his hacker girlfriend were fine and met in real life. And then Astrid met Tetsu. That's it. She met Tetsu, and he's lovely. I love him so much. But yeah, my gran mentioned this, that in the pub scene after Patience's boyfriend, who I don't really care about. I don't know if it's again the writing. I just don't really care about him that much. But yeah, so like the boyfriend was like, "I want to meet all your friends," and Patience was like, "Why? I have no friends." That's how I felt about that anyway. So they went to a pub to do a pub quiz with her only friend, which is Will. But like, yeah, so there was a bit there, especially near the start of that, where it was unclear what Will was trying to do, because he was just like spouting off things he knows about patients, and it either felt like an autistic info dump to be like, here's all this information you need to know and proving to you that we're besties, I'm trying to help you out, or info dumping all the things he knows about her to be like, yeah, look, see, bitch, you got competition, even though she has no idea. That section felt like it could possibly be that he's interested in her. We did have a mention of his hacker girlfriend in season 1, didn't we? But there was zero mention of her this season, and William was barely in this season as well, which, again, sad. I like his character quite a lot. So, yeah, that was weird. I don't know what was going on there. Don't know if that was also meant to just be autistic. I do love that both of those actors are autistic, though. So, yeah, I made a note that I don't remember exactly how the plot went in the French version of the autistic kid being used as a drug mule. But, like, I don't remember it ending that way. I don't remember it ending with a lady whose kid died and then fucking abducting them all. I don't remember that. I feel like that I would have remembered that. So let me know if you've watched the French version and remember this. Like, what happened in that episode? Because yeah, I just don't. I remember enough to be like, oh yeah, I remember this hot, like, general crime/mystery, but I just don't remember necessarily how they were all solved or resolved. There was a part that I liked between Patience and Di Monroe, where Di Monroe was saying that she wasn't being professional at work, and she was like, "Are you fucking kidding? You're like super unprofessional, especially the way you speak to me. So don't fucking tell me I'm unprofessional when you're an asshole." Basically, And she was right. That was like a good turning point for the characters and some growing room for D.I. Monroe because DS Hunter, was that his fucking name? Yeah. So DS Hunter was like, just apologize. Like you have, like she's right. You have been unprofessional and kind of an asshole to her. Just apologize for it because she also keeps calling her headphones, and she's like, that's really unprofessional. You won't even call me by my fucking name. You keep calling me headphones. So my name's fucking Patience. And there is a point. I don't know if it was in the same episode or like maybe the next one where she accidentally calls her headphones again after like agreeing to not call her headphones anymore and call her Patience. And she does actually go after and go like, I'm really sorry. I do respect that, you've told me to call you by your name. Respect that. And I want to do that. I'm just forgot. I'm very sorry. And it won't happen again. I liked that apology. Very good little like display of how you can just apologize if you get someone's name wrong or pronouns wrong. Honestly, like this is a great little apology for people with trans friends. To be honest. So yeah, I liked all of that stuff and they became a lot better workmates, but also like maybe into friends. Patience going speed dating was fucking hilarious. I actually really liked the fact she was like, no, that sounds like a really great use of time to like, being efficient. That was it. It's like this is a very efficient use of time and collecting data on different people. However, she wasn't really working autistically. She said that later on that she was really heavily masking being autistic at that thing. Wasn't going well. She was still super autistic. And instead of like only ticking the people she was interested in, she just ticked everybody so that anybody who said yes, she could go on a date with again. And she got a few yeses. It's just a bit like, well, why would you do that if you didn't even really like those people? But I do agree with her. Like, low key, if there were any like bisexual speed dating events, I would go, even though, yeah, afterwards she was like exhausted and feel like shit. That was very overstimulating. It was very funny because she went with DS Hunter, which to me, they are very different demographics just based on age alone. And it was a bit like, why is a 23-year-old and like a 40 to 50-year-old man going to the same speed dating event? That does not seem like an age appropriate event. Like most of the people he was talking to were really young and he just kept getting drunk. He was getting really drunk. But yeah, they both seemed very depressed by the end of that, which was very funny. And there's like I think it's right at the end where Di Monroe invites DS Hunter and Patience to her like really nice swanky apartment. She clearly has like expensive taste. And everyone's like, how are you paying for this expensive as fuck shit when you literally just work as a copper? There was a nice moment as well where she did actually push the boundary with Patience with is it sriracha sauce? Patience was like, no, I don't like it. And she was like, you should try it before you say that. And I really liked how her counteracting argument was, well, you base your decisions on data. Where's the data for this? You've never tried it before. She was like, fine, you are correct. And she did actually enjoy it, which, yeah, I liked that little moment. And yeah, she has this really nice swanky little flat, which is kind of reminiscent of the flats they have in Astrid Meadow in Paris. They have very nice apartments there. And I'm like, who's fucking paying for these things? Again, generally, York is just such a beautiful old city. A really great backdrop for this sort of thing. Yeah, I don't know. I definitely enjoyed watching the show enough, but I don't know. I feel like Patience was getting on my nerves this season a little bit, but I am pleased about some of the cast shifts. I don't really get the social media thing. A lot of it was just a bit bizarre. I don't know. I think in general, I'm still like in the camp of I wish we could just have shows that weren't always about crime. I've had enough of watching cop shows. I still watch them again because a lot of the times they're popular, and they're the places where you get the better representation. Like I just watched a show that I really enjoyed that was again kind of like a cop murdery show called His and Hers. He was a cop, she was a journalist, but they were both also linked to the murders. That was very interesting. I might talk about that another time, but so yeah, there's some that I really enjoy. particularly if they're just like a short one off. I have had enough of crime dramas being the only place where you see representation of marginalized people. I would say the same for medical dramas, but I feel like we don't have as many of those actually anymore. I think, particularly like British ones, we don't have many that are still ongoing. A lot of the ones I've watched are old or had like a one off. I think Malpractice is one that keeps coming back. Like Casualty. Like I love Casualty. Still waiting on Dylan to let me know if he's fucking autistic, but nobody's gonna tell me, obviously. So fucking hell. Hopefully we find out now that he thinks he's got a fucking son. But yeah, like I didn't have anything spectacular to say. I just don't really care for Elliot. Like he seems nice enough. I just don't care. Just don't care. I would like to see more of, because we don't see a lot of the where is he? We don't see a lot of DC Akbari, Will Akbari. We did see a bit more DCI Baxter. He was funny. He's quite funny. I think he should come back a bit more often. He's very different to the French version of the character. I really, really like Jessica Hines as Dion Monroe. I think she will keep it interesting. She is a little bit rebellious, a little bit weird, a little bit, alternative in her own way. Dr. Parsons is a weird one because first season she seemed to be like total opposite to, again, the character on the French show. But then in this one, a lot of the time she keeps like doubting patients a lot, even though she was like all for it before. I don't know. Yeah. I wonder if they have different writers for the different seasons. Maybe who have adjusted it to England. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there are parts of this show that they just haven't bothered padding out, hoping that people won't notice. So I don't know. Like I said, I enjoy it when I watch it. I don't think they're doing anything super special besides literally just casting fucking autistic people and having autistic people and characters actually being canon in the show. But yeah, I don't know. I don't have anything spectacular or particularly interesting to say or analyze about this season, which is why I wasn't sure I was going to make any kind of video. I felt like there was enough to say for a video just to give like a little update of my thoughts. But yeah, generally, unless next season is like crazy, I probably won't talk about it separately again. And people can just find my old videos that I've made on it. I think that's it from me today. My stomach is grumbling and I've not been having a great time with food recently. So I need to go and try and find something to eat that will stay down. Ha! Love my life. But yeah, that's it from me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.